Hello folks and welcome to the Gallant Few Rangers podcast. My name's Colin and I'm delighted to be giving you the post-match reaction live from Ibrox as Rangers studied Livingston 4-0 in the Viaplay Cup quarter-final. I'm joined by Andrew, and are you sharing the same optimism as me that 4 goals means that we're going to win 4 trophies this year?
I certainly think that it's a positive result in terms of the manager's stability. I think 4 goals, especially when you look at the game of the weekend where the stats would have shown that we should have scored more goals. Scoring 4 tonight looks better for the team as a whole. We heard David Martindale, he was quick to see the similarities between the last match between the two teams. I think, if we're being honest, it was a more concrete performance from Rangers, especially in the second half. It didn't seem like it was the changes that necessarily brought the kind of uptake in scoring. It just seemed like the longer Rangers were in the game, the better they seemed to play, and then the goals came eventually.
Yeah, it's better what we can do when we just do the basics fucking well. It's no science. If you can make a 5-yard pass, then football will tend to be a bit kinder to you. Just on what Andrew said there, we did get recordings of David Martindale, Michael Beale and Abdallah Sima, and we'll add them on to the end of the recordings. Obviously we're streaming live from YouTube right now, but I'll edit the video on YouTube and you can see the videos on the edited video. And of course, if you listen to Apple and Spotify, then it's already added on. So into the actual game then. So, well, I should say first of all, it was a impeccably observed minute silence from the Rangers fans and the Livingston fans for the late Jim Forrest. There was 35,000 Rangers fans here tonight. It's not the worst for a Wednesday night when it was Drake, but the first half just taking it bit by bit. I thought the Rangers started quite well, Andrew, and the first 10-15 minutes we were quite aggressive. We were moving the ball quite quickly. We weren't taking 2, 3, 4 touches then moving it. I think we were trying to get a bit of joy down the wings, particularly Tavernier. There's a couple of first time crosses where they were forced out of the corner, and I think Rangers maybe had about 5-6 corners in the first half.
Yeah, it seemed like, although we didn't necessarily stray away from our kind of familiar kind of style of play where we're trying to get the ball towards the kind of wing backs and getting those crosses in, what did kind of pay dividends for Rangers was who were trying to hit the crosses earlier. We weren't dilly-dallying on the ball, we weren't trying to carry the ball an extra couple of yards, 10 yards, maybe trying to get towards the byline, but we're getting the ball at our feet and getting in the box, which when you're coming up against big centre-halves who maybe aren't the fastest, if you've got strikers who are nimble on the feet and natural in the kind of the striking area, you're going to get those kind of good chances. I think that was quite a good change that Michael probably made there, especially since we've heard in the past that David Martindale is aware that we do tend to get those high crosses in, and that he knows that, and that's their plan to defend that. I think it was a wee bit of 3D chess from Michael, knowing that we do tend to play those crosses, but if we can change the pace in the attack and get those crosses in earlier, then you could be open for taking.
And I think the important thing was we didn't do the same thing over and over again. We were trying different things, and the goal eventually came for the left-hand side. Yilmaz, who had a decent game tonight, we'll come on to him even more so later, but he plays the ball into space for Sima to run on it, and Sima, he out-muscles, shall we say, the Livingston right back, takes the ball, quick touch into the box, and he curls it into the keeper's far side of the post. So fucking lovely finish, composed finish that we don't quite always attribute to Abdallah Sima. We don't always give him the credit for composure. But Andrew, what's your thoughts on the goal, and should it have stood?
Well, the main thing about it is that Abdallah Sima is spot on. He doesn't stop. He doesn't expect the referee to blow back. He plays on, especially with the way the VAR is these days. Especially even you think of the offside, you're told to play on until the flag eventually goes up. In this case, he puts the ball in the net, and then it's a case of, well, if I have a look at it, they ended up saying that there was nothing wrong with it, and there you go, we get a goal from it. In another world, he continue on and then we don't score, and especially when you look at VAR was given it as a clean challenge. If I was to say, as a non-ref and a Rangers fan, I would tell you that there was no foul. But if I was to take off the blue tinted specs, I would say Livingston have a shout for that to be called back. But in the end, 4-0 or 3-0, it's a Rangers victory nonetheless.
And I can see Aldo, one of the subscribers in the comments saying it's not a foul, and there was a mixed opinions in the press room as well. Even a couple of different podcasts where, this is Ibrox boys thought it was a foul. Hartman's no, this is Ibrox fault. It wasn't a foul. Hartman thought they did, but the goal stood and it went in. And in hindsight, the Rangers were comfortable in the rest of the first half. I mean, Livingston did have one chance with Stephen Kelly getting on and they had a decent move and shooting outside the box. But again, it was a fairly long range effort. Rangers had a couple of half chances, but we go into half time and deserved winners. And I think we're feeling positive at half time. We're playing better than what we did on Sunday already. There was one change, however, where Kemar Roof comes off for Cyril Dessers. I know at half time I said it was Abdallah Sima. Apologies, folks. Sorry, this is a amateur podcast. But speaking to Michael Beale afterwards, it's a potential issue with the groin. We'll know more tomorrow. That's a worry.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the story of Kemar Roof's tenure at Rangers. I mean, we know how good he can be when he plays and when he stays fit, but those games are few and far between, and it seems like we're seeing the same things over and over and over again when it comes to Kemar Roof. I mean, it's one of those things where if he doesn't have an injury-laden career, he probably wouldn't end up at Rangers, because we know that especially when he's tenure at Leeds, the fans there loved him, and he had some really good scoring stats, but injuries hamper that in his career. I mean, we're just seeing that happening, but it's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last time.
It definitely won't. Into the second half we go with Cyril Dessers leading the line, and there was quite a half chances for Rangers. We were trying different things. Livingston maybe broached the Rangers box once or twice, and I think the only time we came to a Tavernier error. And I don't know, I felt the fans starting to get a wee bit frustrated, particularly when Cyril Dessers took his time to shoot at the edge of the box, went past the Livingston defender, got the shot away, but it was eventually blocked, and there was a bit of an uproar for the fans, but 2 minutes later the goal comes. The goal actually comes for Rangers put themselves under pressure in the right back area, between Tab and Cifuentes. They don't really clear the ball too well, but eventually the ball makes its way to Ryan Jack, who plays it into the on-running Yilmaz, about 60 yards for goals, and he just goes on a wee adventure, goes past a couple of players, gets to the edge of the box. He does toe poke it, but it beats the keeper, and you've seen what that meant to him. He loved every minute of that.
Yeah, you can see he had a wee kind of rolling moment with himself in the corner after the kind of ending of the celebrations. And I have to say, I don't think Ryan Jack, when he leaves the ball off to him, thinks this is going to end in an assist. But I'm sure he'll take it nonetheless. I mean, it just shows what he can do in terms of he gets the ball at his feet and he just goes. I mean, I don't think even if the Livingston defenders knew it was coming, that they would have had the pace to get over to him and cover him off. It was just a really well creative run, and then a good finish. Doesn't matter how you score them, if it's a well struck ball or if he's going to have an ice pack in his toe in the morning, but you take that. It opens his account for Rangers, and it was kind of set us up for the rest of the game.
And they all count, they absolutely all count. And as you say, they did set us up for the rest of the game. And I don't know if that second goal just unnerved the crowd or sort of settled the nerves of the crowd a bit. Settled the nerves of the Rangers team as well. That second goal gives you that bit of comfort. And, it was as comfortable as a game as a 4-0 victory should be. But so for the next 10-15 minutes, Rangers, they only really troubled. In typical Rangers fashion, Yilmaz does go off injured, well, with cramp. Hopefully it's not too bad for Barisic to come on. And it's actually Borna Barisic who is involved in the next goal. Again, we were so dangerous down the left-hand side. It's a terrific ball for Barisic into the on-running Abdallah Sima again, who's arguably man of the match. And Abdallah Sima controls the ball, turns in towards goal. Cyril Dessers is screaming for it in the middle of the box, and Sima, he tries to cross it in, hits off the defender and goes in. He was honest enough to say that he tried to cross it, but he done all the work for the goal. He really did.
I mean, I think it was credited to his name by a play, but I think that will be the dubious goal panel. We'll have a look at that one. I don't think it was on target until the Lucas for Livy. A good finish past his own goalkeeper. Unfortunately, I do think it's the wrong end. But I suppose it's probably deserved. Sima, as you said there, I think we almost agreed. Probably the man of the match. Definitely, as my opinion, he looked a wee bit more confident in himself to make a run and know that the ball's going to come to him. And then when he has the ball at his feet, he knows that he can cause the Livingston backline some issues. I mean, he saw that with a goal and a goal. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be happy with his performance. I'm sure Michael will be pleased with his performance. He was quick to mention his return so far for Rangers in terms of goals and assists. I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
So Rangers make another 3 changes where Souttar, Wright and Sterling go on for Lundstram, Sima and Davis. And I can only think, while a lot of people will be clamouring for the young boys to go on, when you have such a depleted squad, you do want to get minutes in the players who are going to feature regularly. So I can see why he's put them on. And again, Rangers just remain comfortable. The 4th goal did come in the dying minutes of the stage with Dujon Sterling going into right back. James Tavernier pushed further forward. You can see Michael Beale talk about that in the press conference in the video afterwards. But Dujon Sterling plays it in Tav and high up the wide right wing. Sorry, he cuts it back to the on-running Scott Wright, who does ever so well to dummy it for the on-running Ryan Jack. And Ryan Jack just places it. It's a lovely finish posting in. But it's mental that Ryan Jack, with a basic pass in his own half, is getting an assist. And Scott Wright probably won't get an assist for doing that bit of imagination.
I mean, looking at that goal in general, it was a lovely piece of play. I mean, it's something that we've probably been starved of in recent weeks. I should be giving goal between Sterling and Tavernier.
A bit of imagination.
Yeah, just that they kind of lay it off and go and beat your man and see if you're going to have that little space open up, and it did. Tav picks out a really solid ball, just cutting along the grass lovely, and Scott Wright, it's a part of me that thinks he maybe tried to control it and maybe missed it, but I'm sure he'll be sitting in that. And what can you say about Ryan Jack's finish? Just cool as you like in that corner, especially against Jamal George, who he made some pretty decent saves when called upon, and he's been known to make a couple of good saves against us in previous fixtures, but he was well beaten for that one.
So we spoke to Michael Beale afterwards, and also you can see what he had to say. But Andrew, what was your thoughts on his demeanour? That's the one thing I want to pick out, because he was asked about it. He was asked by one of the journalists saying you're usually quite a chirpy, upbeat, a lot of energy, but there's a different vibe to you tonight. And his reply was just he's focused. Do you think there's more to that, or do you think he's just getting his game face on?
I don't know. It's hard to read him at times. It was quite different seeing him like that, I have to admit, because we do know what he's been like. Some people have maybe said he speaks a little too much and gives away too much in his press conferences. I thought his answers were sharp and to the point. I mean, I'm still, I know it might be a bit of an annoyance to some of the support, but I'm still firmly behind Michael. I think he still is the right man to take us forward. I think even just having that wee bit of keeping your cards close to your chest will kind of win him back in some of the eyes of Rangers fans who have that opinion that he gives too much away and he is too outgoing in his press conferences. So I think it's a winner on all fronts tonight for the supporters. For Mill and Michael's a wee bit more closed off. What can you ask for?
So there is a wee bit of wind and background noise come through, so apologies about the audio, folks. But as I said, if you're watching this live just now, the press conference won't be added on until I get the full video re-uploaded onto YouTube, and it'll be on shortly after. But just a massive thank you to everybody watching, everybody supporting the podcast. Also, we don't really get into the anywhere near the press areas without your support, so a massive thank you as always. If you do want to see more content, you can join us on YouTube, Apple or Spotify for £1 a month to get daily content. But no, that's all from me. A massive thank you to you all watching, and Andrew, thanks for joining me in my wee adventure tonight.
Thanks very much. It's been a great night. Overjoyed.
Oh, glad to have you, mate. And as some of the listeners have commented live, the lights are starting to go out at Ibrox, so we are going to go before we get chucked out. So until we speak to you again tomorrow, folks, take care.
Were you pleased to get a bit of sheen on the performance overall today, on top of the result obviously you wanted?
Yeah, look, we won a game, third game in 7 days, another clean sheet, we're in the semi-final. Livingston never had, I think, a shot on target, so it's a good night for us.
What pleased you most overall about the performance from yourself?
We just stayed with the ball a bit more first half, we were a bit more patient. I thought at times we could speed up a little bit, but in terms of our general possession, it was much better than the weekend, and Abdullah sort of showed the way really with his running off the ball. We need to do a little bit more of that, and I hope by the end of the game we did.
How pleased are you with Ridvan to get his goal, to get such a goal to open into camp?
Yeah, delighted for him because he's had a rough first year and a bit to his Rangers career, because he showed moments and flashes of why the club invested in him and why he was such a big talent in Turkey in the national team so young, but obviously injuries have held him back, and so hopefully that's the start of him showing what he can do more regularly.
Is he injured, Michael, and Kemal as well? What's the situation with those two?
Ridvan was cramped, Kamar is a groin problem, so we'll know more tomorrow.
In terms of the full-time whistle, if you compare that to the weekend, it seemed to be quite a different atmosphere. You sense that changing?
I just think we've got to win football games. We won another one, it's 4 on the bounce, it's clean sheet. Yeah, I think the difference between today and the weekend, I don't know where the rubbish come from that Motherwell were the better team at the weekend. Look at the stats, they weren't the better team in that football game. So I was right to say in possession we were poor, we were better tonight, we won the game. On to the next one.
How do you ensure that you build on that? Because last Thursday we saw such an impressive result against Real Betis, then a drop at the weekend against Motherwell, albeit still a win. How do you ensure that you continue the standards as high as that?
Well, the thing is, when you ask teams to play 3 games in 7 days, and then you ask them to play 4 in 10, the entertainment and the energy value is going to go down. The risk of players getting injured, not just for Rangers, in any league, in any country, that's it. So I think for us to just keep winning at this moment in time, look at the list of players that are out. They're the players that bring the guile and bring the style to the team. I thought tonight, first half, Sam Lammers played well. I thought Abdullah was eye-catching. That's his 5th goal, 4th and 5th goal in probably 7 or 8 starts. He's scored in some important games so far, so well done to him.
Michael, can I ask you about either side? You speak about Sam Lammers there, you have Abdullah and Ridvan. Happy with what you got from your players in either flank tonight?
Yeah, I was pleased enough. You know, the triangles on the side worked well. I thought at times Sifu went high and let Sam stay wider. Other times James went high and he came inside. You saw when Dujon came on that James, we're looking at maybe at times going up a line as well, and he gets a good assist for Ryan. It's just at this moment in time where the game's coming, there's not much in between we can work on. It's just every time we play at the minute, it's just making sure everyone's fit and healthy for the next one. So the game's coming around thick and fast. I thought our left side tonight was probably the reason we won the game. I thought Ridvan and Abdullah between them, the energy they showed down that side, it obviously led to the first 2 goals.
Michael, have you had a kind of change in philosophy? It's like from the start of the season we seem to be playing with more retains and narrow, we seem to be playing a little more expansively wide. Has that been a decision by yourself just based on what you've seen so far? It seemed to obviously have good effect tonight. It seemed to suit Abdallah, who did probably have his best night so far.
The biggest issue we've had is all the players who knew the way we played in the final third moved on, and loads of new guys come in and had to find their feet and their relationships. We played tonight exactly the same as we went back to, really, the 4-3-2-1, and just asked at times from to play a little bit wider, depending on the triangle. It's how he's always played, but coming back this season without Morelos, Cholak, Sakala, Arfield, Hadji, Tillman, Campbell's not playing tonight, Lawrence is not playing, Ryan Kent, these players had the relationships, and so we're building new ones. And I thought the front three tonight, or certainly Sam and Abdullah, I thought they did their roles ever so well, so I'm pleased for both of them.
With regards to the squad, sorry, I was just going to say, with regards to the squad, is there anyone due back soon, or is things going to get better injury-wise?
I think by the back end of next week, there's a half chance that we might see Kieran Dow and Nico Raskin by the time we go and play St Mirren. But the call will be made on that a little bit later. Otherwise, this is the boys that we're working with. So to lose Kamar tonight possibly is disappointing, and it just shows how much strain that the team's under at the moment. So fair play to the players for playing so much control tonight and winning the game. There's a lot of eyes on them at the moment, and I thought tonight they did very, very well.
Michael, you mentioned there you brought in Dujon Stillen, slotting him in at right back, and James Tavernier moving forward into midfield. That's obviously happened late in a couple of games recently. Is that something that the Rangers supporters can expect to see more often as the season progresses?
I think so, because Dujon's such an excellent player that it's really hard to keep him out. Our captain plays right back and has been excelling as well, so we're blessed in that position. Dujon can obviously go across to left back, but I feel we have two very, very good left backs, and unless we want to change the system to a back three, which at times, if you look at the names on the piece of paper, it looks less adventurous, then I think that we need to look at an option at sometimes of James going up a line, certainly to allow him to get into crossing positions maybe a little bit easier. And it was lovely the way they combined for the goal.
John, last one.
Michael, just your reaction to drawing Hearts in the semi-final. We obviously got there in the back of a wonderful goal by Alex Lowry last night.
Yeah, it's a team I've probably watched the most this season because of Alex. I was at their game last week, and unfortunately didn't get on against St Mirren, which was a good game. I think both ties look very, very good for the neutral, good for the competition. It's quite a long way off with the amount of games we got, and listen, it will be a really good day out for everybody, and when we get there, there's no point going to a semi-final without wanting to go back for the big day out in December, so that'll be our focus right now. We need to recover and play against Aberdeen in, 2 days' time.
Michael, can I just ask you, your mood seems to have changed a little bit the last week. Have you been a bit irked by some of the reaction noise? You're normally quite a, kind of chirpy kind of guy, but it feels like you're a bit more pointed now?
No, not really. It's just we're in the middle of a big schedule, and with focus, we come back after the international break hurting a little bit as a team. Naturally, you would with the way that went. The boys have responded really well. It's important that we're honest with each other. It's important that we drive standards, but it's also important that we realise that at this moment in time, with the games coming and the players we got out, that we just continue to look robust and strong as a team defensively, and then the chances will come off the back of that. I want it to be a bit more open and free flowing and expansive, and I think with some of the names we've got out, they'll give us that after the international break, hopefully.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Michael.
Obviously, from your point of view, as if you were unhappy to say the least.
I thought it was a foul, yeah. I actually thought Wally was going to let the game play on, which he did. And then I felt he was going to blow the whistle. But when he went to VAR, I thought, like, we'll be alright, we'll be okay here. Obviously not. So disappointed, because I did think it was a foul, I'll be honest, I thought it was a foul. Never got it, but I thought we were spooked. First 15 minutes, I thought we struggled to get to grips with our shape and our patterns and where we were playing. Ryan Jack was playing a wee bit further forward than we thought he was going to be. Yeomans was getting on the ball. But we managed to get grips with that, but the first goal spooked us, I think. And then the second part of the first half, I thought we managed to build ourselves back into the game. We limited them to very few chances, because the first maybe 20-22 minutes, somewhere along the lines, there was a lot of chances going behind us quite a bit. But I thought the second part of the first half, I thought we managed to build ourselves into the game, get ourselves in at half time 1-0, had a wee chat, had a wee tweak in the shape, And I thought we actually started the second half very well. I thought we were doing okay, and then we gave away a cheap goal, just individual errors within that phase of play, which is disappointing. And then it was just very reminiscent of the league game, to be fair. We lose another couple of goals, which is disappointing. So from my aspect, it's something I'm going to have to immediately look at, because that's 11 goals in 3 games against the Old Firm that were shit, and for me that's not good enough, and I need to look at myself also.
Talking about these 2 games against the Old Firm in the last 5 days, you expect more from your team. You say you don't look at yourself, but you expect more from your team. Would you think that the score lines have been harsh?
I expect more from far. No. I think against Celtic the performance was fairly there, but again we give away a cheap goal, give away a cheap penalty from good possession in the opponent's half. We give away a cheap goal. So, but I thought once Joe gets sent off, we're well within the game at that point. Why am I talking about Celtic? That was you.
Across the 2.
What was your question?
Across the 2, do you think the scorelines have been harsh? Or do you think you expect more?
I thought Saturday was a wee bit harsh, but we never took our opportunities. But I thought that came down to the quality at the top end of the park. They've got a wee bit more quality in us. Tonight, no, I don't think the scoreline's harsh, to be honest, because I think our defending in the final third of the game wasn't good enough. It's not up to standard, and that's all over the park, not just looking at the defensive unit. So the 4-0 was probably more deserved in the league game here, where I thought the performance was a little bit better against probably a stronger Rangers team. And I think it's fair to say tonight Mick was missing probably 5 of his most influential players, and similar scoreline, cheaper goals, and our performance wasn't quite there. So I think we probably deserved that tonight.
You joked that you expected more from VAR tonight. Have you spoke to the officials? Have they explained the decision around the first goal?
I'll not speak to them, honestly. I don't mean it like that. I just don't see the point. It's out of my control now. Like, it's a circumstance that I'm not going to waste any more time or energy on. I don't mean that in a negative way towards the officials. They've made their decision. VAR's made the decision. I can't change that. So I'll probably not waste any more time or energy on it. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated. But it is what it is. Hopefully some of the decisions go our way in the future, but I'll not waste it. I'll not speak to Crawford. I used to when I first came into management, and probably even assistant manager. I was never off the emails at the weekends, but I don't think any official goes out there to, it's opinions, isn't it? It's like opinions. Like, that's probably one of the fouls where there will be a certain element of a football fan, of officials or players or managers who maybe think it's a wee bit soft and it wasn't a foul. But I think, I speak for the majority, I think most would say there was enough contact there was enough forcing the hand in the back to get the foul. So I'll not waste any more time, to be honest. I'll just focus on, I'll go in, we'll look over the game tomorrow, and the focus will be on St Johnson.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the goals tonight. What do you make of the game?
Yeah, we know like it was a hard game, for us. So we prepared well this game. So we are happy to win it.
What about your goal, the first one? Obviously a bit of contention over the challenge, but you finished that really well. What was your kind of thoughts on the goal?
Yeah, so like this week we just working for that, like for the start of movement, and I'm very happy to get that goal. So I score like that, so I'm very happy.
Livingston felt there was a foul, but you pushed the player in the back for the first goal. Do you think there was enough for him to go down, or?
But this the decision for referee, so like for me that's the foul, so that's the decision of referee. So we can do anything, so I'm just have to score. That's the most important.
Is the second goal your goal? Was it a shot? Was it going on target? Be honest.
Yeah, I'm honest. For me, my intention was to make assist, to make pass. So I'm happy the ball go through. So.
Abdallah, you have an opportunity now to play at Hampden Park in a semi-final for Rangers. Is that something that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, but that's what I look for. You know, like that's why I joining this club. You know, to play games and score and help them. So I'm happy.
Yes.
Thank you.